Hello. This is my first time here. I'm very new to your vibrational process. I have a new lady in my life who has been with you for quite some time, and even though she hasn't promoted you to me, my occasional hearing her speak of you has attracted my interest, and I started following your YouTube series somewhat, and I've had this opportunity presented by her to be here. It's marvelous. Within the past 6 years, I've come to new enlightenments and clarities in my life, and the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment of what's been an emptiness in me is coming to me.
There's only one way to fill that up, isn't there?
And it's happening slowly, but it's happening very noticeably.
That's all it takes, because once you notice it, then you've got it. Yeah, once you notice.
My changes are being reflected back to me by people who know me, my employers, my employees.
You're clearer, you're more conscious, you're more aware, you're happier more of the time, you have more flexibility. These are all indications of increasing alignment. Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
I'm at a point or age in my life, to put it into some sort of perspective, of wanting to enjoy the remaining days in here more comfortably, and that is a financial basis.
Before you go further there, because we talked about that quite a bit already today, about financial and that sort of thing, and we'll answer anything that you have specifically. But we liked the word that you said about comfort in the remaining days, and we want to help you to acknowledge, and we know you can, just as a result of what we've already been talking about here today, that everything is about now. There isn't anything more than now, because you can't perceive beyond now. You can look back at past, but you're doing it now. And you can look forward to the future, but you're doing it now. So it's just this eternal now that we all live in. It's just now. And from your point of view, from your human point of view, we want to call your attention to the comfort, the deliciousness of in this now being in sync with that broader perspective, or the discomfort of in this now not being in sync. And what you begin to notice is when how you feel matters more than everything else put together. So you are guiding your thoughts from that point of view. You just begin to feel this eternal now that is endless because it is. You achieve this continuity with the broader part of you, and then things like mortality are no longer an active thing. Things like shortage of time is no longer active within you. Needing to hurry up and get stuff done is no longer active within you. You're just riding this current of the eternal nowness, where the whole of who you are is focused powerfully with you in this now, which makes for just the most dynamic, robust, good-feeling moment in the now. Yeah. We just wanted to stick that in there.
Thank you. In November of last year, I was in a place of tranquility. My dwelling was a very interesting place of tranquility. I relocate a lot in my work. And I had this idea of going to bed, and within my nightly prayers to God, Source, to, upon awakening, to give me a number. And I did that for 7 consecutive days in a row. And 6 consecutive days in a row, as soon as I woke up to an alarm, there was a number. And I kept those numbers. On the 7th day, there was no number, and when I got up out of bed and I was heading to the kitchen, there was a 7th number that was like in almost visually in a smoke, at the end of a smoky tunnel. And I wanted those numbers for lottery. And I retained those numbers, and my new lady friend and I play those numbers, and I feel they were given to me with purpose they have not come to tuition as far as what my objective was, and I'm curious if there's a different way that I should be visioning these numbers or seeing these numbers.
Well, your inner being can answer anything that you want. First, we want to say that. Your inner being knows, and whether you call it source or inner being, doesn't matter what label you give it, or God, knows where you stand in relationship with everything that you want, and knows, and this is the important understanding, your path of least resistance to get you there. So by that we mean through life and through coming to beliefs. Most people have many beliefs that they scatter along their trail in a sort of resistant way that prevent them from clearly receiving the answers to what they are looking for. So when you put yourself into your prayer position, we just want to call to your attention the difference between a prayer of asking and a prayer of appreciation. Step 1 is ask. Step 2 is source answer. Step 3 is you receive the answer. And you can't be in the asking and the receiving mode at the same time. So we want you to know that even before you put those requests into words, those requests have been out there. You've been asking for abundance, and you've been asking for purpose, and you've been asking for exchanges that are uplifting to everyone involved. You've been asking for an extension of your own experience. You don't want to stagnate. You want to continue to feel dynamic in the workplace. You want ideas to continue to flow to you. You want to be of value to others. You want others to be of value to you. In other words, you just can't be living as you've been living without asking for all of those things. And so we want you to understand that you have been offering those prayers, and that in fact, we would like to put prayer in the really clear context. Prayer is anytime you are vibrationally putting anything into the vortex. You are asking, and we mean that in the way that you are praying. But the question isn't, are you praying, are you asking? And the question isn't, is source answering? Because the answer to both of those questions is emphatically yes. You are asking, whether you want to call it prayer-like or not, it is. And source is answering. But what are you doing about being in the receptive mode? Well, you're very wise, because when you first awaken in the morning, that is when your likelihood of being in the receptive mode is the greatest. The thing that we want to sort of calm the waters in you around is that if you can accept that everything that you're asking for is being answered, but don't ask for some literal and direct, in this moment, translatable. In other words, we're talking about all of the journey that is putting things into the vortex, all of those prayers, and we're talking about all of the journey that is source answering them, knowing where you are in relationship to everything you want. We're talking about law of attraction, gathering and building the momentum of that, and then most important, we're talking about you finding a way to consistently, chronically be in the receptive mode so that you can translate that vibration into the physical equivalent. So you're very right in wanting to translate it literally. We're not wanting to discourage that process at all. We just want you to understand that you are in the receptive mode much more often than just waiting for that number to appear to you in the morning. Things like the timing. Things like the timing of where you go, of where you buy your ticket. There's much more to it than just having the number in your mind. You see what we're getting at? And so we would like to call all of you to the attention of this. You all have the ability to win the lottery, specifically and figuratively, all day, every day, by being in the receptive mode and receiving the clues or the guidance that your inner being is giving you about each and everything that you are praying about. There is nothing that Source does other than know where you are in relationship to where you want to be and feed a constant stream, not just one number every morning. It's a constant stream of guidance. And as you tap into that stream of guidance so that you're just feeling it, you feel moved by it. Because when you ask, it is given. And it is literal. But you're the one who has to translate the vibration into the literal, you see. So it's the consistency of that. Hopefulness is not knowing. It's a different frequency. Doubting is a really far frequency from the knowledge that Source holds. Hoping is closer, but it still has resistance in it. Knowing, absolute knowing. So in time, what happens is you just know that the clues are there. You just know that the guidance is there. And you follow enough of it, and you see the evidence of it. And we're not talking about big multi-million-dollar lottery winnings only. We're talking about all of the impulses that you receive all the way along, so that you can win the lottery of rendezvousing with that smile, or with that comment, or with that person, or with that memory, or with that good feeling, or with that knowing, you see. Helpful?
Yes.
Enough?
Yes.
Really good.